Shadow and Bone on Netflix is coming out on April 23rd. It's based on the books by Leigh Bardugo. First, we're going to talk about the fantasy world and the story, and second, we're going to let you know what we Catholics can approve of. The show is using the books that are part of the Grishaverse. The main series is this trilogy that starts with Shadow and Bone. Then there's the Six of Crows duology. We had a blast reading these two books, which is why we are pumped to see the show. This series has exactly the kind of thing that studio executives would want to hear in a pitch meeting. The main cast is all young and good-looking, strong heroines, plenty of diverse characters in terms of race, sexual orientation, and personality, opportunities for grit and humor, etc. So in this fantasy world, there are magic users called Grisha. In general, they can either manipulate materials, the elements, or the human body. Here's a map of the world. We mostly need to pay attention to two places. The first one is where Shadow and Bone takes place, Ravka. Despite everyone speaking with English accents in the trailers, it's based on Tsarist Russia, so if you're a fan of period dramas, there's plenty here for you to enjoy. In this country, there's this thing called the Shadow Fold. It's a black smog cloud thing with evil monsters living inside it. The main heroine is Elena Starkov. She discovers she can generate and manipulate sunlight. So naturally, she begins to train to develop her powers so she can destroy the Shadow Fold that is causing serious economic and military harm to Ravka. Carefully watching her progress is the well-bearded, powerful, and mysterious Darkling, played by Prince Caspian. Part of the conflict of the book is the court intrigue and the motivations of the Darkling. Plus, there's Elena's struggle with both her powers and her romantic feelings for her childhood friend Mal and the new ones she has for the Darkling. The Six of Crows duology takes place after the events of the Shadow and Bone trilogy and are mostly set in Ketterdam, which is located here. The key characters to look out for are Kaz Brecker, a crime boss / gang leader / criminal prodigy who has a serious dark side. Also, there's Inej Ghafa, also called the Wraith. She's played by Yaz's grandmother. She is a spy and a highly skilled knife fighter, and, well, basically, she is a complete boss while still having a big heart. Like many strong female characters, she has a tragic backstory, so part of her arc is her coming into her own. The rest of the Crows gang are experts, misfits, etc. Based on the trailers, we suspect that the writers are combining the stories and having the Crows gang go to try and capture Elena. So, Kaz versus the Darkling. Ooh, let the battle of wits commence. The pressure is on Netflix. These stories are YA to the core. Overall, we had fun reading it, even if we aged out of that demographic. There are distinctive YA moments in there, like love triangles, which might not be thrilling for some. The stories, especially the Six of Crows books, have their darker and even more violent moments. But honestly, there's a lot worse out there. If we remember correctly, there's no explicit sex or nudity scenes. Hopefully, Netflix keeps it that way. Two things for Catholics. First, one theme is embracing your natural gifts and your calling, especially in the case of Elena in Shadow and Bone. Minor spoilers here. She is initially reluctant to use her gifts because she is afraid of losing her best friend Mal and living the fairly low-key life she lives. By the end of the story, she takes the plunge, so to speak, and doesn't hold back. We too can avoid developing the natural talents that God has given us to fulfill His divine will and serve humanity because we are clinging to our comfortable lives. Just like the apostles and all the great saints of history, if God calls us to follow Him and leave behind our quiet existence and never see certain people again, we need to follow Him, even if it hurts. We don't know where He could send us, but He will be with us. Quick metaphor here. Elena's gifts means she is referred to as a sun summoner. I guess you could say all Christians are called to be sun summoners in this dark world. Second, in one of the religions featured in the Grishaverse, they have saints, and they actually call them saints. They are figures who became martyrs and performed miracles. Leigh Bardugo isn't Catholic, but we felt this was a nice inclusion into the world building. Who knows, maybe it will inspire people to research lives of real-world saints. Shadow and Bone, available for streaming on Netflix on April 23rd. We're going to binge-watch the first 2 episodes and put out a review soon after, to let all of you know that it may or may not be worth your time. But never mind us. What are you thinking? Are you intrigued? Did you hate the books? Are you excited? Comment below. One last thing. No mourners, no funerals. And if you want to see more great videos that fuse your Catholic faith and your geekiness, then subscribe to Random Catholic Thoughts Geek. Don't forget to like, share, and suggest a topic. May the Lord be with you.